Hi, so I'm going to tell you about my experience with COVID-19 and my family's experience and what's going on. So, the first thing is we might have it and we got tested. My husband yesterday and myself today. Um, the test is quite unpleasant. The swab is about this long, and they stick it all the way up your nose, and you feel like they are swabbing your brain. Took about 30 seconds, though. It was really no big deal. So we both got tested. I'm going to back up, though, and I'm going to explain what led up to us being tested, what we're feeling. We are sick, but we're not really sick, but we're sick. Okay, so, but we're not going to die. So I'm going to explain that to you. So the first thing you're probably asking is how we're feeling. We started getting sick on Friday. Today is Wednesday. I had a bad sore throat. My husband had a little bit of a cough. My sore throat was bad. We've both had our lethargic headaches, like a dull headache, sinus headache, a couple of sneezes, some dry coughs, mostly lethargic, feeling a burning in our chest. In the past few days, it's been a little harder for me to breathe. I'm a vocalist and a musician. I have a music studio, and I'm going to be honest with you. It's a little hard to breathe. Not like crazy, but not normal. So, but I got that checked today. They listened to my chest. And they said it was normal. Sorry, my throat is sore and scratchy, so. Mm. I do have a sore throat. I'm a little scratchy. Usually when they test my oxygen, because I do yoga and I exercise, it's like 99%. Today it was 97, which for me is a little bit off. So, you know, that's what I'm experiencing. I don't think I'm going to die, but my husband and I, we think, are in day 5 of being sick, and from our understanding based on the research we have done, and we are conscientious with our research, we try to look at the actual scientific papers, that it's day 7 where it really hits you. So now I'm going to back up and I'm going to start from the beginning of my experience in this situation as a New Yorker up until today getting the test, and how my husband brought it into the house and what I did to avoid bringing it into the house. So at the end of February, I actually got a screenshot because I sent it to my husband. At the end of February, maybe like the 23rd or something, I saw some of the news on this virus, and I screenshotted it, sent it to my husband, telling him I think this is going to be an issue. Anyway, so a few days go by, this thing starts to escalate. I guess now we're into the first week of March, around March 8th, 9th, 10th. My husband and I decide that we're going to stay close to home. I have a 9-year-old daughter, and I'm also a homeschooler. And we belong to a co-op, so I decided not to do co-op because I was feeling a little lethargic. I wasn't sure. It wasn't this. I think it was something else. And we decided to stay close to home. I was leaving her home doing food shopping. My husband was still going to work. A week and a day from today is Wednesday, last Tuesday, a guy at my husband's job was coughing and joking, saying he was ground zero for COVID-19. My husband and his coworkers in his office did not think this was funny. My husband is a mechanical designer engineer person. He works in manufacturing, so there's like the office design area, and then there's the shop area, and they're kind of separate areas with separate groups of workers. So they're in the office. There's about 10 to 12 people, but this week, 2 of them were staying home. One's an older woman. One guy decided to stay home. I guess Wednesday One of the older gentlemen in the shop felt sick, so he stayed home. He had a fever, and this other guy's coughing around the shop. Now, also, in the whole 14 years my husband's been working there, no one has gotten the flu, pretty much, or they've hardly ever been sick. So these are healthy people who don't get sick. So just bearing that in mind. So, as the week moved forward last week, I thought, honestly, they were going to lock down New York by like Tuesday. They actually waited till Friday. They basically Friday, my husband got laid off, and my studio has been closed for 3 weeks now. So now we have no income. But he got laid off. He comes home. He's feeling a little lethargic. By this point, my throat is starting to feel sore. I'm feeling burning in my chest. Saturday, he feels burning in his chest. He gets an email from work. The older gentleman in the shop has tested positive. The jerk in his office has also tested positive. Now, bear in mind, at this point in time, the turnaround time to get your test back was 3 to 5 days. So chances are this guy knew or was highly suspicious that he had COVID-19, and he was still going to work. And if there's any of you out there behaving in this narcissistic fashion, you really need to stay home. So Saturday, we realized we need to get tested because my husband was very sick this summer. He had a terrible bacterial infection that put him in the ICU. He almost died for 3 days. I have fibromyalgia, and I have some autoimmune issues, not so much from colds, but if I do end up in the hospital with the latex, I'm allergic to the sheets. I'm like basically allergic to chemicals. So for me, that would be bad. Okay, so we've been trying to stay clean and isolate ourselves. So one guy tested so 2 people are positive. 3 guys in his office get fevers, and 2 of them are young guys who are in shape, who got really sick from this. So on Saturday, my husband and I started to pursue getting tested, and we set up, it took us 3 setting up appointments to actually finally get tested. The first 2, he set up first. First we got blown off, then we got sent somewhere else. We got an appointment, and we would stagger them, like him first and me hours later, because we have a child. And the first 2 times he went for the test, and they're like, oh, we ran out of tests. Yeah. So finally we got tested. And so far now, so out of his main office, I think of 10 guys, 5 of them got sick, and we feel kind of sick. So some of the other things going on, there are more people that are testing. I have a niece in Middletown, New Jersey. She has the same symptoms I do, the burning in the chest, the trouble breathing. I took a nap the past 2 days, and that's pretty much what's going on here. I also have a friend who's in EMT, and he said the hospitals are getting full. Yesterday, when he returned from work, we chat on Facebook. He said there was a woman who had passed away who was basically just like in the hallway, like covered up, and he's never seen that before. He does not know if she died from COVID-19 or not, or they were just so busy they couldn't get her down to the morgue area. He said tonight it was even worse, and people are not listening. So a couple of things I want to let people in the rest of the country know who are watching this. First of all, is unbelievably contagious. All right, half my husband's office got sick. Half of his office. And these are people who are generally, I think, conscientious. They all got sick. So it's super contagious. Second, thank God no one in office has died or anything yet. But they did get sick, and these are people, some of these were younger people who normally do not get sick. Second, really important, highly contagious. Yes, you're getting sick. The third thing is you have to look at the numbers. as compared to the flu, okay? You have to look at the age groups that are getting sick. Please look at the Italian studies. They're finding out the people who passed away had 2 or 3 comorbid conditions. Now, I'm not saying young people can pass away. I'm not saying not to take it seriously. But at the same time, it's real, but I think we have to have a perspective. One doctor I found on the internet, I was not able to find a link, mentioned that the average age of the people who are dying or people who might have died this year anyway. Don't hate on me. I'm just saying, you know, there were people who were in a bad situation anyway. However, I do think there are young people who are dying of this, and it's serious. And here it's spreading like wildfire. It is spreading around. And my husband and I were super, super careful. Like washing our hands in the car with like disinfectant and then rinsing off in the house. Like we were really careful. And we still got sick because one person was not careful. And finally, we have not isolated ourselves from our daughter. My daughter did experience a headache, some nausea, and some, you know, she's a little lethargic too. So we suspect she's also contracted it, which, don't hate on me, but we're hoping we have it. So then we're over it and we have a natural immunity rather than having to get a vaccine or something. I would much rather have a natural immunity to it and have her have a natural immunity to it. So that's my take on it. So in closing, 1, yes, this is highly contagious. Super, super contagious. 2nd, people who get it get sick. They get, it seems, sick more often than they would from the flu. It's also different from anything I've experienced in terms of the chest heaviness. That is real, and it's definitely a little hard for me to sing. So I want to say that. I do think there's something going on with the chest issues with this that's unnerving, that I don't like, and I'm wondering how much damage we're going to have. So in closing, I want you guys to understand, 1, this is real. I think it's regional. I hope it's like they should, but I don't think they need to lock down the whole country. But if you do get to a point where you are told to lock down, take it seriously. Stay in the house. Just send one person out. Wash your hands. Take off your shoes. Take it seriously. It's real. It's having some really adverse effects here. The emergency rooms in Queens are overflowing. It seems to be coming out from New York to, you know, to Nassau, to Suffolk. I know people out on the end of the island that aren't experiencing this as much as I am. And then I know people who are west of me, closer to New York, where it's much worse. So it does kind of like spread out. Do not get on a plane, please. Don't get on a plane. Especially don't get on a plane in New York and go somewhere else. Just chill out. Don't spread it around to everywhere else in the world. They don't need it. So, and that's it. So for the most part, I just want to tell everybody out there, we're all in this together. Hopefully better things will come out of this, and I'm just, you know, send whoever's watching this some love, man, and just, you know, it's not about you getting sick, it's about who you can give it to. It's not about you, it's about you can kill someone's grandma or grandpa or someone with an autoimmune situation like I do, and that's it. So I hope you found this helpful. Thanks.